Shifting focus to the unrest in Kenya. As the death toll in the latest wave of protests has tripled, President William Ruto has issued fresh warnings for the protesters. The Kenyan President William Ruto has warned against attempts to overthrow the government through unconstitutional means. This as he claimed recent violent protests, which killed dozens, were sponsored.
I saw them saying that they won't wait for the elections in 2027. They want to plan chaos, plan protests, burn people's property, cause death in Kenya so that they can overthrow the Kenyan government before 2027. I dare them to try. They'll not believe. They should try. Allah, Kenya is a democratic country. You cannot tell us you'll cause chaos to overthrow the Kenyan government.
Kenya's National Commission on Human Rights says 31 people have died in the latest Saba Saba demonstrations. The previous toll was 11. Saba Saba, meaning 7-7, commemorates the 7th of July, the day Kenyans first demanded a return to multi-party democracy. The protests once marked a celebration of democratic freedom, but this year they ended in bloodshed. Police opened fire on the protesters, and tear gas and water cannons were also used. And in some cases, police resorted to physically assaulting the protesters. Human rights groups accused police of collaborating with armed gangs. 2 forced disappearances have also been reported. Over 500 people were arrested on Monday, according to Kenya's National Police Service. The court will rule on their appeal on the 10th of July. Prosecutors say 37 others will also face terrorism charges over the June protests. Now, the unrest has hit businesses and hospitals hard. The capital, Nairobi, a group of over 100 armed men stormed a hospital demanding treatment for their wounded. In another incident, hospital equipment was looted by unknown attackers.
Police came, but unfortunate is that the goons were all over. So they had to deal with them even from before entering the facility. They had to deal with them from outside. And you could actually see them touching they started with the chatter around the gate, and then they were now throwing fire inside the facility near the laboratory area.
Kenya has been rocked by waves of protests since last year. They are triggered by youth anger and a crumbling economy, corruption and police violence. It began with proposed tax hikes last year. Now it's a rejection of President William Ruto's government. Calls for his resignation are growing louder.
The reason we are protesting is because the government we are still trying to get this government so that we can listen to the people, and nobody's listening. So that's why you're protesting. Extrajudicial killing, you can see corruption in the government, and nobody's in any way.
This year's protests are also over the death of a 31-year-old blogger, Albert Ojwang. Ojwang died in police custody after criticizing the deputy police chief. 6 people, including 3 police officers, have been charged with his murder. Since last year, over 100 people have died in anti-government protests. Almost 50 deaths have occurred in just the last 2 weeks. Last month, the government ordered police to shoot on sight anyone approaching police stations during the demonstrations. Protesters claim the state is using paid vandals to undermine their movement. Now, President William Ruto, meanwhile, remains defiant, backing the police despite growing public outrage. Critics accuse him of dragging Kenya back to the dark days of dictatorship. The question now is, will he heed the people's call? As the country grapples with grief and rage, Kenya stands at a crossroads, demanding justice, accountability, and a path back to peace.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Fiskali radikali.
Japanese,
Yung 4 dois idiomas.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish,
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.